Hey everybody, Moarhammer here. I've got another battle report for you, and this is a pretty interesting one because it's the first battle that I've used the General's Handbook. So we're playing a 2,000 point game, my Khorne against a Seraphon army, and we're also using one of the battle plans out of the General's Handbook, but I'll get right into that right after the army breakdown. So here's a picture of deployment, and as you can see there are 3 realm gates kind of in the centre of the board, and that's what the objective is. So we're playing the 5th mission out of the General's Handbook, where the 3 central objectives or 3 middle objectives have to be controlled by characters, and depending on how long those characters have been controlling the objectives, you get a certain number of points. So if they've been controlling it for 2 turns, they score 2 points at the end of that turn, and so on and so forth. You can also, and you can change, whoever's controlling it can change hands if you kill the hero. If you kill the hero with another hero, that hero immediately starts controlling it, otherwise you just have to get another hero in there. Very cool, very looking forward to playing it, and it sounds like a very interesting battle plan. So, what we have deployed, starting on my side, on the far left there, I've got 15 Blood Reavers. Again, sorry it's not all fully painted, but I keep chopping and changing stuff in this army. And then I've got 10 Skull Reapers with a Skull Grinder and Blood Secretor. In the middle there I've got 10 Bloodletters, behind which is a Wrath of Khorne BLOODTHIRSTER. Then on that hill I've got another unit of 10 Skull Reapers with a Blood Stoker behind them, and on the right hand side of them there's a Slaughter Priest and SKARR BLOODWRATH. And I've got 10 Fleshhounds and another 15 Blood Reavers. On his side, starting on the far left, just behind that little wall, he's got a Old Blood on Carnosaur, then 10 Temple Guard, then he's got 20 Saurus Warriors, then behind the Oculum thingy at the back, he's got a Saurus Old Blood and an Astroloth Bearer, is that what it is, the banner guy? Then he's got another unit of 20 Saurus, and moving further over left, he's got a Bastillodon, the one with the snakes, and then behind the bit of terrain, he's got 3 Pterodon Riders and 10 Skinks. He's also got, by the Bastillodon, he's got a Skink Priest and some other Skink character. So one can cast stuff and one's like a Priest character who can do spells but not like casting, I don't know. They're all just bits of light to me. Is that racist? That felt racist. Anywho, I finished deploying first because I had just a lower number of units than him. So I decided to let him go first. So this is what he does, he pushes forward. He manages to get characters within all 3 objectives, so he immediately takes the advantage of controlling all 3, which is quite interesting. But he did correspondingly move quite far forward, which I was quite happy about. It meant I could really choose where I wanted to charge and where I wanted to go, and attack where I needed to be. But he has very little in the way of shooting. I think he shot with his Carnosaur bloke's hand, and he plinks a wound off a Skull Reaper, I think, but nothing of real significance. So we jump into my turn, and I do some stuff. I push forward, actually. My Blood Secretor plants his banner, because everything is going to be it seems like a lot of fighting is going to be this half of the board, so I feel like I want to get the bonuses now, because if he manages to charge me next turn, or if I can charge him this turn, I get +1 attack, and I'm immune to battle shock, and all the reasons, which is why I planted it there. I use the Bloodthirster's command ability and the Bloodstoker's whip on the Bloodletters, because I want to smash them into that unit of Seraphon, and I was hoping that I could get the Skull Reapers by the Bloodthirster into the Saurus Warriors ahead of them. Likewise, on the right-hand side, I was hoping I could either get the Blood Reavers or the Fleshhounds into the Skinks and take them out ASAP. One thing I did forget to mention is, since we're using the General's Handbook, we're also using the Allegiance abilities. So we each get a command trait and a magic item which we can use. And I've decided to go for so my Bloodthirster has the +1 to hit for him and all units within 10 inches if they're fighting Order, which of course I am, so I might as well. And I've also taken the, I think it's the Chaos Talisman, or some sort of Chaos Gem that gives me a 6-up ward against any wounds I suffer. But if they're caused by Order units, then it's a 5-up, which of course it will be. So I'm taking as much advantage of fighting Order as possible, because I hate how much Order stuff gets against Chaos. So it's great to have some stuff back. Yay! Anywho, so yeah, this is my movement. My shooting phase does exist because my Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster has a whip. Oh, I also did forget to mention again, my Slaughter Priest used the Bloodbind spell, and he dragged that Skink Priest right in front of him, so SKARR BLOODWRATH there was about to charge that little Skink Priest, which is perfect. So in the shooting phase, my Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster uses whip and smashes it right into the Astroloth Bearer and takes him off right there and then, which was fantastic. I know this banner's going to be a massive pain, so he was completely gone instantly, which was fantastic. So that being the end of shooting, we go into the charge phase, and the Slaughter Priest and SKARR BLOODWRATH pile into the Skink Priest here. My Bloodletters slam into the Saurus Warriors. They did lose 1 or 2 of their number because of snakes from the Bastillodon, which is a bit of a shame, but not too bad. I've still got plenty of attack here. So I'll pile in here first, and I get +1 to hit because the Bloodthirster being nearby, and also I get to reroll 1s of hit. So I'm hitting pretty nicely, and I managed to smash apart almost all of them, which is fantastic. There's 3 left. I get 17 down, which is absolutely amazing. So they will definitely disappear. There's no way they can't not disappear from Battle Shock now, which is perfect. So just cutting down that entire unit straight away is perfect. So he attacks with his chap over here next. It doesn't do anything. I attack with my Slaughter Priest, and I'm also not able to do anything. I get 1 wound through and he saves it. On like a 6-up or something. Yeah, it's whatever. It is what it is. And then he attacks back with his Saurus and kills 3 Bloodletters. Yep, no problem. Then I attack with SKARR. I'm able to put 3 wounds onto him. I think he's got 4 total, so it's a bit of a bummer that I didn't manage to take him out entirely. Oh well. But that's all the combat, so we go into the Battle Shock phase, and bam, his Saurus do disappear, which is fantastic. And we go into the initiative roll-off, which he wins, which is it's fine. I don't have any problem with him winning here. I've still got the possibility of the double turn in the future, so that's absolutely a-okay. And he moves around a little bit. Most of his stuff just pushes forward to try and get some charges off. All the stuff on the right-hand side, his salamanders, skinks, and pterodon riders just kind of sit where they are. Bastillodon comes forward as much as possible. Other than that, not a whole lot happens. And again, he has no shooting. His claw thing from his Carnosaur does try to shoot at the Bloodthirster, but he misses entirely. And so we go to the charge phase. The Bastillodon comes in here and charges into the Slaughter Priest. The Carnosaur here hits the Blood Reavers, and the Temple Guard over here hit the Skull Reapers, which could be quite nasty. And this is the one he chooses to go with first. He attacks and brings down 2 Skull Reapers total, which is not bad. I do manage to bring down one of him as I die, which is what I love about the Skull Reapers. But yeah, that's not too bad. I've still got my plenty of strikes back. And when you're charging this Bastillodon over here, my Skull Reapers were just in range to pile in, so I decided to pile in with these guys because they can do mortal wounds, and they've got quite good damage output, so I was hoping they could do some damage to the Bastillodon. And they do. They managed to put 3 wounds onto it total, which is not bad at all, so I'm quite happy about that. Then he goes with he just started attacking with the Bastillodon against my Slaughter Priest, and he brings him down, no problem. Plinks off another sort of 4 or 6 wounds, or quite a lot of wounds, and he goes down and dead. So that's a bit sad, but I'll take it. So then I attack with my Bloodletters against the Saurus Old Blood here, and I'm able to put 6 wounds onto him, so he's got a single wound left. I was a bit bummer not to totally kill him, but I can live with it. He's nearly dead now. Should be easy to take him out with my Bloodthirster's Breath of Fire attack, or whatever it is. Hellfire Breath, that's it. And then he attacked. And he attacks with his Skink Priest chap and kills SKARR BLOODWRATH, which was just It's just disappointing. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. So then after a bit of pondering, I decided to track my Bloodreavers next. I haven't attacked with them yet because I know they'll do nothing against the Carnosaur, but I did actually underestimate them a little bit. I took 4 wounds off it, which is 4 times as many wounds as I thought I was going to get. Well, 4 more wounds than I thought I was going to get. So that's not bad at all. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that. Go Bloodreavers. Then I attacked with my Skull Reapers next. I think he's done with all his attacks, and they just annihilate those those Temple Guard. It was brutal. I've got my +1 to hit from the Bloodthirster. I'm re-rolling some of my hits. I've got +1 attack. It's just nasty. So that's fantastic to rid myself of them. He also rolled absolutely pants for his saves. He was like a 3-up saving Lorien Rend, but he rolled like 1s. it was glorious. So he attacks with his Carnosaur next and is able to kill 9 Bloodreavers. So yep, again they're pretty rubbish. They die like in droves. But fortunately, because I planted my banner last turn, they are going to be immune to Battle Shock, which is perfect. So we go into my turn and do some stuff. My Skull Reapers charge, the ones on the left hand side charge with the Saurus Warriors. My Bloodthirster comes across and to try and take on that Carnosaur. I do leave him just within 8 inches of that Old Blood so I can breathe Hellfire Breath on him before I charge in. And my Fleshhounds go towards the Skink Priest, and my Bloodreavers charge towards those Skinks. Equally, my Bloodletters that were now free, well, my Bloodletters were sitting there in combat with the Old Blood. In the shooting phase, my Bloodthirster breathes Hellfire at the Saurus Old Blood, killing him and freeing up the Bloodletters, which is fantastic. So I'm quite happy about that. And that's being the only shooting, and we go into the charge phase. And my Bloodthirster hits the Carnosaur, surprise, surprise. He had like +4 on his charge, so I wasn't expecting to fail it. And my Skull Reapers and Bloodletters hit these Saurus Warriors, and so does the Skull Grinder, he comes in as well. And then the Fleshhounds over here charge into the Skink Priest, and hopefully he'd go down. Then the Bloodreavers as well, charge into the Skinks, which they should have, but probably won't have because they're Bloodreavers. So I attack with my Bloodthirster first, as you might expect. He popped his command ability thing, so every unit attacking him is -1 to hit. But because I got +1 to hit, it essentially cancels out. And after I finish hitting him, he's lost a total of 9 wounds, which isn't too bad. He should be quite reduced in his power now, so that's ideal. So then he piles in and attacks with his Saurus Warriors, and he doesn't do too badly. He kills a whole Skull Reaper, puts 2 wounds onto another, and 5 Bloodletters, so that wasn't bad at all. Those guys can be quite nasty. So next I decide to attack with my Bloodreavers before his Skinks run away, and I'm able to kill a single Skink. Yes! Brilliant. So, before he actually does any more damage with his Carnosaur, I decided to attack these Bloodreavers because there was nothing really better for me to do. And they're able to plink another wound off, so the Carnosaur is now down a total of 10 wounds, which is actually pretty nice. I'm quite happy about that. Then I attack with my Skull Reapers over here. I think he does attack with his Bastillodon first, but does nothing, so I attack straight back with my Skull Reapers. I'm able to put another 3 wounds onto the Bastillodon and hack apart that Skink Chief Priest thing that was there as well. So he's down. Bastillodon has only got 2 wounds left, so this should be going my way. That's fantastic. Then he attacks with his Carnosaur, and he's able to put 5 wounds onto the Bloodthirster, which isn't too bad. They do get much worse when they start to lose their wounds, so that was ideal to have him quite low on wounds. Then he decides to attack with his Skink Priest, his Skinks. He doesn't run away because he might as well attack now that I've attacked him, and he kills 3 Bloodreavers. They're so much better than Bloodreavers. Anywho, then I attack with my Skull Reapers, and it's not good news for the Saurus Warriors because it was outrageous. I've got so many attacks. I've got re-rolls here and there, +1 to hits. It was brutal. Every single Saurus Warrior dies, which is fantastic. So the entire unit gets rubbed. And now all the Skull Reapers from their Trial of Skulls special rule are going to be re-rolling all hits and all wounds for the rest of the game. So that's fantastic. Then over here, my Flesh Hounds eat that Skink Priest, so that's fantastic to have him out of the way. So we go into the initiative roll-off, and I win it, which is a pretty good time to win it in my books. Kind of, a lot of stuff is a bit moot now. The game's really starting to swing into my favour, even though he's been quite far ahead on objective points. My Flesh Hounds run off towards the Skinks. As much as I can, moves off towards that corner. Skull Reapers, the Bloodletters, what have you, all kind of moves off towards that corner. My Bloodsecrator is still kind of standing there using his banner because he might as well give that +1 attack to the Bloodthirster. At this point, it's not going to make much difference moving him, so I just leave him there. In my shooting phase, my Bloodthirster breathes Hellfire Breath at the Carnosaur, killing him, which is fantastic. A bit ignominious, just getting hacked apart by a Bloodthirster's axe, and he breathes fire in your face to kill you. So I was very happy about that. Unfortunately, we did agree not to use the realm gates as actual realm gate rules, so I can't just pop Bloodthirster through the thing. Not that I would, but yeah, that's not happening. In the charge phase, my Bloodthirsters hit into the Bastillodon just to help bring him down, and the Flesh Hounds slam into the Skinks over here to help with that as well. So in the combat phase, I do attack with my Skull Reapers first, and they're able to bring down the Bastillodon. I do lose 2 Bloodletters and a couple of wounds onto a Skull Reaper from the snakes before I attacked, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. Bring down the Bastillodon, and that's fantastic. It was great to have that guy down. I've never killed one before. They always seem to just survive. And correspondingly, then he decided to flee with his Skinks, so these guys run away, as is very sensible. So we go into the Battle Shock phase, and SKARR BLOODWRATH reappears, which is fantastic. So it's great to have this rule where he can just reappear as many times as he likes, as long as the rolls are 4 up. So that happens, and we go into his turn, and he does some stuff. So he moves around like this. I didn't take a picture of the whole board, because this is all he's got left, so it's all that's relevant. His Pterodons, his Salamanders, his Skinks start shooting stuff. They kill 3 or 4 Flesh Hounds and 1 or 2 Blood Reavers before charging into them all with his Pterodons, or charging into the Flesh Hounds with his Pterodons and Skinks. When he attacks, he does manage to kill all 4 remaining Flesh Hounds, which isn't too bad at all. So yeah, so they die, leaving my Blood Reavers looking stupid, but they do pile in and put a wound onto a Pterodon because they're really heroic and not useless at all. Okay, so then we go into the initiative roll-off again, and he wins it this time. So yeah, so he's actually got a double turn. He moves his Skinks into that building to take some shots, and his Pterodons are obviously in that combat, and his Salamanders move down out of the building just behind the realm gate. You can't quite see them. In the shooting phase, the Salamanders take aim at SKARR BLOODWRATH and torch his face, so even though he just popped up again, he's now being torched once more. And down he goes. And then the Pterodons are able to quite easily finish the remaining Blood Reavers. So there you go. In the Battle Shock phase, SKARR BLOODWRATH actually reappears again. And he appears, you can't quite see him, he's in his dead pile in the back right hand corner of the board. He's just there 9 inches away from the Skinks. Obviously I can then move up, so he moves up, and then all the Skull Reapers that can move across to try and charge stuff. And here are the charges. SKARR does make it into those Skinks, and the Skull Reapers both make it into their respective quarries, so the Pterodon Riders and the Salamanders. SKARR uses his Bloodstorm Blade attacks and is able to hack apart almost all the Skinks. There's only 2 of them left now, which is ideal. And the Skull Reapers are easily able to hack apart the Salamanders, only taking a single wound in return. And the Skull Reapers over here are quite easily able to hack apart every single remaining Pterodon, which is fantastic. And there you have it. Almost tabled. He concedes right there, and that is the end of the game. So I do just win on points, only just though, but yeah, it actually ends up being quite a close game just because he took such an early lead with getting those realm gates. It was actually quite hard to dislodge them without some real fast anti-character stuff. Even though I do have that, it's still quite difficult to get them off. But hey-ho. Other than that, yeah, it was a very, very fun game. I really like the points in the General's Handbook, and I really like the mechanics of the game, especially the allegiance abilities. That +1 to hit against Order is just such an amazing ability, and I'll be using that whenever I fight Order, because I like pissing Order off. Other than that, no, very good game, very much enjoyed it. So, thank you very much for watching. That is another victory for the Legions of Khorne, which is going down in history in the in the summer campaign. Yay! So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for another battle report.